it's Yuri Kasdorp here from Red Bull Racing Esports, and today we are here at the start of a bit of a stretch on iRacing. That's the Daytona 24 hours. The Daytona 24 hours isn't quite here yet, but VRS will be here for week 5. We're gonna be in the GT3 cars, in the Ferrari. How does it look like? Let's have a look on a hot lap, and then let's get deeper into that after that. Let's go. So here we are in the last sector, about to start the lap. We're running the Ferrari, and the Ferrari is good on this track because it's good at two things. It's good at acceleration and it's good at top speed. So as you can imagine, for a track like Daytona, that works out very, very well for the car. One part the car struggles at is traction. That means we're gonna want to straighten the car up out of the corners as quick as we can. Try to make use of that acceleration. Turn 1, keep the car to the right, brake in a straight line if you can. Over to the inside. All the way to the left for turn 2. You can see it struggles a bit on traction there already. Keep the car left here for turn 3. Wide entry. Again, try to straighten the car up here. Fire without an exit. And then once we're finally going in a straight line, the car is a beast. We'll be running to the bus stop. Bus stop always tricky because you want to sacrifice as much of that rear wing as you can to get top speed, but that means it's going to be tricky in the corner here. And then all we have left is to run up to the line. So this is where all of that wing that we took off for the bus stop to make it maybe a bit tricky in the bus stop is going to pay out and give us good straight line speed. Get to run to the line left. That's a lap around Daytona. Right, so here we are at the start of the hot lap from the outside view. When we're running up to turn 1, you want to be running as close to this wall as you can to try to make sure that your braking zone for turn 1 is as straight as possible. If you're running low, you're gonna have to make much more of a corner than you have to do if you're running very close to the wall here. One thing to be careful of is that this wall has a slight curve in it and then it suddenly stops. So it's quite easy to clip this wall on the outside and get some small damage that you might have to get repaired in the next pit stop. So close to the wall on the outside, and then we're aiming for this stripe here. And we want to do most of the turning, as you can see, most of the turning while we're still on throttle. The moment we start going on the brakes, at about the end of this line here, we try to have the car pointing as much as we can towards the corner. Braking it all the way to the outside, and then at this point here, let's go from the inside cockpit cam as well. What you want to do is you want to aim for this tire wall. And if you aim for just this edge of the tire wall here, there's a bit of grass behind it, but you're never going to go into the grass because we're going too fast. So you're going to aim for this tire wall, and as you can see, there's a bit of grass here, but you'll never actually hit that grass. And then you want to slowly build up the throttle on the corner exit, with the Ferrari especially, because we're lacking a bit of traction. It wants to step out quite a lot if we go too much on the power while we're still rotating. And for turn 2, we want to run all the way to the left side here. Running over this line is completely fine. And we want to brake right around where the cones start on the right side, but it's very hard to get a reference because there's no real markers around here. So the cones is what I usually use as reference. And try to make sure that you enter this corner very far from the left side and only apex quite late. That way we try to maximize our speed onto the next straight. You can see again there, car struggles quite a lot on traction here, but once it's actually going straight, we're going really fast. Want to keep it tight here. The rear is going to be quite unstable, so you want to keep it close to the wall, close to the white line on the inside. Don't run all the way to the right side, because what we want to do is we want to start braking from the left side here for the next corner. Again, try to brake as much in a straight line as you can. And what I try to do is brake with the aim to be around this middle of the road where the line is. That way, once I get towards the apex here, I'm not completely towards the inside. I can start turning before that. Once I get to the curb, I can follow the curb afterwards out of the corner. Turn 5, very important as well, back into the oval. You want to be running close to these cones here without actually hitting them. It's possible to get a cone stuck in your car now. So you don't want to actually run over the cones like maybe in the past, but you want to run close to them. And you try to brake just after this patch of grass on the right side here. And then you want to aim with your right side tires as close to this curb here on the right or even on it. If you clip this grass here, you're going to have a bad time. You're going to lose probably the rear. You clip this grass, nothing's going to happen. Get it to the right, get it turned in. And here with the Ferrari, what's crucial is that we try to get most of our retardation done before we go into the throttle. And the moment we want to go full throttle here, we've got almost a straight line left to go and accelerate without losing the rear. And we got the big banking, which is pretty straightforward. You just want to run close to the yellow line on the bottom here. Very close, and then you just slowly run towards the outside for the bus stop. What I use for a marker here is around the 1, so you brake a bit before the 1, maybe in between, like there's this post that you can use in the outside as well. This thing here, it's a bit early as a brake marker for this season's cars. So I brake just after that, and I use the 1 as a mark and brake quite a bit before that. And then what you want to do is you don't want to brake too much while you're turning here, because again, we want to get rid of as much rear wing as we can to go as fast on these the bank corners as we can. What that will do is make your car unstable on high speed entries. So we want to not use too much braking while we're turning here. Get the car to the inside. You want to run over the curb, want to run close to this grass. If you take too much of this grass here, you can get an off track. And then in the corner, in the bus stop itself, you want to run it very tight. So again, tiny bit of brake only, and running it tight. We're not far from the inside white line here. And try to keep as much of a straight line as you can, and then slowly going back into the power again. Same as on the exit, and then straighten the car out. And then all we have left is the second bank corner. Big run to the line. Exciting finish is always happening here. And then that's a lap in the Ferrari around Daytona. You guys learned something. So there we are. That's a lap around Daytona, this time in the Ferrari GT3 EVO. Quite a lot of fun. Racing is going to be very tight, very exciting. I wish everyone good luck. And if you want more guides like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel.